welcome back. It's been a little while. I have this to show off for you guys. This is that 74 that we built. That it got totally disrupted by the nonsense that went on YouTube. Be aware that more content's coming, and if you want to see the unneutered version of it, sorry for the wind, Utreon has all of my content backed up. If you're looking for something, it's not there. Check out Utreon, utreon.com/C-Charlie/babyfaceP. Everything's over there, all unfiltered. This, however, really cool. This thing's done. This is all thanks to a couple of people. Front, we have, let me bring it in closer. Oh, will it focus? Front, this is PSA. This is Zenit clone from PSA. Top, Zenit Texas clone from PSA with an OKP7. I don't know if you can see the dot there. Back is PSA silver. That is Recreator blanks. Thank you to Recreator. Otherwise, this is all Bulgarian all the time, baby. This is the good stuff. We are ready to test it out. So, since you guys last tuned in, I finished building it. You know, I'm not going to stop just because the channel goes dark for a couple weeks. So I finished it. Springs are a little bit very weak, so it's going to get a new spring. I do already have, let's just chamber it. I do already have a K&S piston in here that I put in, anticipating that I was going to need to gas it. The spring's so weak it doesn't need gas at the moment. It needs a better spring. But we got some commercial 7 and 6, supposedly non-corrosive. Safety off, round in the chamber, and let's see what we can hit. It didn't blow up. And 545 is just amazing because it doesn't move. And it slaps. It just slaps that target. It does run. There we go. Let me take you back to the table. We'll talk about what's on this, and we'll shoot a little bit more. All right, let's chat. Let's chat about what we got on this gun. And the kind of, I don't want to call it the most important, but the biggest deal right now, to me, is this. This is a Zenit clone from PSA. Really, really happy with it. It fit very well. It uses the exact same mounting holes as your Zenit Co. I think it's a B11? Maybe a B10, I can't remember. Ignore this for now. I'll talk about that in a minute. Zenit clone. Very, very happy with it. I also do have a real Zenit Co. Light mount on the bottom. I'm going to find some sort of light that I'm going to run here, and I'm probably going to run a PEC on the side. I may actually end up going with a Somo Gear PEC. If anybody out there has one that you want to send my way or sell to me, I would love to buy one. I want to play with one because you can't spend $2,000 to PEC out every single rifle you got. You got to take some shortcuts here and there. So, interesting thing, I'll show you on this side. So, on this side you can see there's a slot right here. That is actually M-LOK. So, the one change that Palmetto State Armory is doing is they are including an M-LOK slot. Now, it's a little funky with how it's situated. These are still the proprietary Zenit Co. rails, M-LOK style things. So if you do have some of your Zenit Co. rail parts, they should fit using their screws into here. Now, what did I do? I don't want to run the PEC on the top. I'm going to personally, let me make sure I'm in frame. Personally, I don't want to run a PEC on top. This already sits really low and the PEC kind of gets in the way. I tested with the PEC 2 or the PEC 15 Alpha I have. I'd rather run a pressure pad and a thumb button on top, mod button and a hot button. One of those directions. So what I'm going to do is run the PEC on the side. Now, to do that, I needed to get a rail, and I wanted to move it a little bit further forward. There's currently no good dog leg rail adapter out there, so I bought some cheap stuff off Amazon. Thanks, Crow. Bought some cheap stuff on Amazon. Had to do some hand fitting to get it to fit in there. It is locked in the back. It does have another M-lock piece here on the side. I'll run in a picture. M-lock piece here on the side, so it doesn't swivel. It also fits nicely into this groove here, so it doesn't want to rotate or move at all. The only problem is the front isn't attached a whole lot, and it could wiggle a little bit, so I stuck a zip tie on it. Your mileage may vary. 100-mile-an-hour tape might work. Zip ties seem to do the job for these sorts of things, and as long as you're using this rail here for your pec, or even further back a little bit here, you're going to be fine. You always can, if you want to use the shorter rail pieces, you can run a pec here, right down the side. I want it a little bit further forward, and I wanted my light further forward, so that's what we got. Now, some of y'all might be asking why this is all so funky. While I was drifting the pin in to get the top cover on, that's how the top cover holds in. It's a pin that you run through. You take your rear sight out, pin holds it on, and it fits in. And it's actually very sturdy. I'm very happy with it. I'll talk about this in a minute. Some of you are thinking, it looks a little different. I actually hit this with the hammer, snapped it clean off, because this is actually spring steel. So I took it to the TIG welder. I do need to do a little more spots to fill in a little bit better, and then I'm going to hand file it in so it's perfect. It's kind of bumpy and lumpy right now, and then it'll get painted. You'll never even know. Top cover. Let's talk top cover. All right, let's talk top cover. This is the PSA top cover. It's a take on the Texas weapon system. Now, PSA, these wings here, if you guys are actually watching this, these wings that come out the side are 100% useless. Mill this down the side, and just make it a smooth piece. There's no reason to have those wings. The moment you go to put the roll pin in, these wings start to bend, then they bend the other way, then they snap off. Notice they're not here because I just took a milling machine, milled them square off, and darkened the aluminum because it's really not necessary. I don't know who designed it. It's a bad design. Get rid of it. Gen 2, get rid of those wings. Other than that, this thing is extremely sturdy. It has pretty good return to zero. I've not noticed any problems with it. It does come with a rear sight that is pinned in. It's torqued in with a hex key. I complained at first that it was kind of loose. If you watch the video on Utreon, you'll see that I complained a little bit that this was a little loose. Once I got in there with the proper size hex key and actually torqued it, it tightened right up. Looks good. Obviously, because we now have Picatinny, I'm running the OKP7 on this, and this is where this OKP is going to live probably for a long time. This is it's getting close to my optimal rifle. A PT1 stock would make it even better, light and laser, and I will be happy as a clam. We'll get there in time, though. So we'll do some testing. We're going to do more testing with this, and we'll do some testing on the return to zero factor of this thing here. It works phenomenally. I'm actually very happy with it. I wasn't sure at first. Very, very happy. If you do end up buying one of these, go ahead at the same time order some aluminum black. It's basically nitric acid. It'll darken the aluminum. And this whole piece is aluminum. So get you some aluminum black. You're going to mar the finish on this thing. It's just the way it is. There's nothing you can do. It's aluminum. Take a little bit of aluminum black, touch it up. You'll be good to go. All right, let's move to the back. At the back, you can see that we are running triangle side folder. This is an entire kit that comes from PSA. The only thing that's missing is the drilled hole here. Normally on a Russian or Bulgarian, there'd be a little hole here. Besides that, this thing was nicer than the Bulgarian one. If you look back on the video of the Romanian Donger, it has a Bulgarian side folder. This one, I think, is actually better produced than the Bulgarians. Don't waste your money on the Bulgarian one. Get the PSA one. As you can see, 545 slaps steel. My optic is a little bit off, but this thing is incredible. It runs great. These parts kits are expensive. If you can find one, don't hesitate to buy it. If you can't find one right now, PSA is your best bet. I hate to say it, they make good stuff. I don't hate to say it. Their rifles are plenty quality. If you can't find a parts kit like this, don't hesitate to get a Palmetto State 74 side folder. They got them. You can get one almost exactly like this from PSA. Then get a basic one, pimp it out, put some new springs in it, call it good. So let's finish this magazine out. Here it is. Gentlemen, I'm back for now. Let me get low. Thank you for supporting me. I know it's weird, it's rough, things are coming and going. If you want to catch me full time, Utreon. Babyfacepea.com will kick you straight over to Utreon. Go check out over there. If you want to help, I am completely demonetized. My channel has no ad revenue any longer. If you want to help, I do have a Patreon. I would suggest instead going and subbing at Utreon. They take a smaller cut than Patreon. And that money, again, goes directly back out to things like this, teaching you guys how to do stuff much as I can. YouTube moving forward, I'm going to have an update kind of talking about it. YouTube moving forward is going to be a little bit neutered. There's going to be some content. You're going to see probably a lot of reviews of things, looking at things, something like that. But you're not going to see too much building. I will probably release videos reminding you, hey, the build is up, go check it out, and it's just going to point you to Utreon. I'm sorry, that's just the way it has to be to keep the information flowing. Beyond that, I appreciate all you guys. The reason I do this is because you guys support me, and I appreciate the Patreon and Utreon subs. I do have a bunch of you, and I cannot tell you how much you guys keep me motivated. You keep the lights on around here. You keep coffee in my cup. Keep some ammo flowing every now and then. So I appreciate all of y'all. Anyways, gents, I'm back. We're going to try to stay on the right side of the YouTube law from now on. Go check out Utreon for all the good stuff. Up and coming, we got a set me. I'm going to build a set me from scratch. And because it's going to be on Utreon, it's going to show you every little detail. I'll try to give you advice on welding. I'll try to give you advice on bending and jigs and things like that. Painting, we'll go into some painting. It'll be over there. It'll be, we'll mix it back and forth as much as I can show here, and then most of it will be there. So, all right, gents, again, thank you guys for sticking with me. I'll see you on the next one. See ya.